I grew up in a tiny town called Elmridge, the kind of place where everyone knows your name, your parents, and exactly how many beers you drank at the lake last summer. Nothing really ever happened here, except the 4th of July. Every year, Elmridge put on a massive celebration. Bigger than our budget allowed, bigger than made sense, honestly. The parade, the marching band, the food trucks, the fireworks, all centered around this massive wooden stage in the town square. And under that stage was the room. But nobody talked about it. I'm not saying this for drama. I wish someone had talked about it. I wish someone had warned me. When I was 17, I worked with the town's event crew, mostly just lugging chairs and stringing up red, white, and blue banners. But that summer, I overheard something. Something that started a chain reaction I've never been able to undo. It was late. We were setting up bleachers when I heard two of the older guys whispering near the stage. "Just don't go down there again. Not after last year. You think I wanted to go down? I still have dreams about that." Then silence when they saw me. One of them, Jerry, I think, slapped on a smile and barked, "Hey, kid, grab that tarp!" I never forgot that exchange. And for the next few days, I couldn't stop thinking about it. The stage itself was strange when you looked closely. It creaked like it was older than the town itself, always locked at the base. I'd asked once what was under it, and someone just joked, "Jimmy Hoffa," but the joke didn't land. People looked away. By July 3rd, my curiosity had grown roots. That night, after we finished setup and everyone else went home, I stayed behind, just to look. The base of the stage had a small access panel hidden behind one of the speaker stands. I'd seen someone open it once to mess with wiring. I figured maybe I could peek inside and satisfy whatever this nagging feeling was. When I lifted the panel, the first thing that hit me was the smell. Not of death or rot, no, worse. It smelled off, like something that had been left too long in the dark, damp wood and old sweat. I expected a crawl space, maybe cables. What I didn't expect was a narrow staircase leading down. The air shifted. Something about the space didn't feel right. My flashlight barely pierced the blackness below. I told myself I'd just go a couple steps, just enough to see where it led, but I went farther. The wooden steps creaked under me, every sound amplified in the silence. I counted 13 before my feet hit concrete, and then a door. It was metal, slightly rusted. The kind that doesn't belong under a parade stage. It was open just a crack. I stood there, heart hammering, trying to convince myself to turn around. But something about the door felt like a dare. Like whatever was behind it was waiting for me. Not in a welcoming way. More like a trap that needed a trigger. I pushed it open. What I saw inside that room will never leave me. The room was lit by a single flickering bulb dangling from the ceiling, a naked wire twisting like it was breathing. The space was larger than I expected, maybe 15 feet wide. The walls weren't concrete or wood. They were stone, old, like it had been dug by hand long before the stage was ever built. I stepped inside. It was cold. Not just basement cold, bone cold, like I'd walked into a crypt. The walls were covered in strange markings, not graffiti, not language, carvings, spirals, jagged lines, and what looked like crude figures of people, heads bent, arms raised, almost like they were worshiping something towering above them. In the corner sat a rusted metal table. On it, jars filled with dark fluid. One of them held what looked like a tooth, human-sized, yellowed, sharpened at the end. There was an old tape recorder beside it, the kind with a red record button and a tiny built-in mic. I don't know why I pressed play. Maybe I thought it was just some prank or old tech junk. The tape whirred, then clicked, and a voice came through, scratchy and low. "July 4th, 1981, third appearance. It watches from beneath the floorboards. It knows we see it now." Then static. Then what sounded like scratching, like fingernails against stone. And finally, Something whispered, almost too quiet to hear. "Do not feed it." The tape clicked again and shut off. I stood there, hands shaking, skin prickling with goosebumps. That was no prank. The voice was afraid. I could hear it trembling in the recording. I backed away, heart in my throat. I didn't know what I was afraid of, but I knew with absolute certainty that something had watched me the moment I stepped inside. I turned back toward the stairs, but they were gone. Well, not gone, but the door I came through was shut. And it wasn't the same door. This one was heavy, a metal hatch with a latch that looked like it hadn't been opened in decades. I swore I left it ajar. I know I did. I reached for it, pulled with all my strength, and it groaned, resisting. When it finally swung open, the air on the other side was warmer, normal. I didn't even look back. I climbed the steps, nearly tripping in my panic, and burst back into the night air. It was quiet. Too quiet. No fireworks, no music from the fairgrounds, no people. I checked my phone. It was dead. No signal, no time. That's when I realized I had no idea how long I'd been down there. It felt like 15 minutes at most. But the sky said otherwise. It wasn't sunset anymore. It was almost dawn. That night changed something in me. I didn't sleep. I kept replaying the voice on the recorder. It watches from beneath the floorboards. Over the next week, I tried to brush it off. Maybe I got turned around. Maybe it was a weird old bomb shelter or something. But then I started noticing things. The people I'd worked with on the event, Jerry, the guy who cut off his conversation when he saw me, I didn't see him again. Not once. Not at the fireworks show. Not in the following week. When I asked around, people just shrugged. Jerry's probably out of town. But no one said it with confidence. One of the librarians, an older woman who always volunteered at the 4th of July festival, came up to me randomly while I was walking home. She looked pale, nervous. She said, "You went down there, didn't you?" I froze. "Down where?" She didn't smile, just stared and whispered, "It remembers you now," then walked away. Over the next few nights, things got worse. I started hearing it. Not at first, not in full, just small things. A creak outside my bedroom window. A soft tapping from beneath the floorboards of our house. My dad blamed raccoons. My mom just raised the TV volume. But one night, I heard whispering. Not voices, just sounds. Like something was trying to mimic a voice, but didn't know how. I pressed my ear to the floor, and I swear I felt the vibrations. Like something was pacing below the house. I told myself it was stress, that I was imagining things. But then the dreams started. Every night I saw the same hallway, stone walls, dark ceiling, the same flickering light as in the room beneath the stage. But this time, it wasn't empty. There were figures, dozens of them, standing still in rows facing me. They didn't move, not until the last second. And then they'd tilt their heads, in perfect unison. I always woke up screaming. On July 11th, a week after the parade, my friend Callie disappeared. She was one of the volunteers too, worked with me on decorations. We'd joked about skipping the cleanup and running off to California. I'd texted her that morning, but she never replied. Later that day, her mom posted on Facebook, "Has anyone seen Callie? She didn't come home last night." That's when the fear became real. I remembered something. On the last day of the festival, while we were packing up, Callie said something strange. She'd been near the stage, looking around nervously, and muttered, "Do you hear that?" I hadn't heard anything, but she had. That night I went back. I didn't want to. Every part of me screamed to stay away, but curiosity was no longer the reason. It was fear. I needed answers. I needed to know if Callie was down there. The town square was empty. I waited until 1 a.m., watching for movement, listening for the silence between the crickets. Then I slipped behind the stage and opened the panel. The staircase was still there, This time I brought 2 flashlights and a knife. I don't know why, like it could protect me. Each step down felt like I was sinking through time. The air got heavier. The smell, that horrible wet decay, hit me harder this time. When I reached the room, the carvings had changed. Some of them were still the same, spirals, raised arms, but new ones were added. They were faces, not drawn well, just the vaguest suggestions of features, eyes, mouths, screaming. They looked like they were screaming. The table was still there, but the jars were gone. In their place sat something new. A shoe, small, white, with a little rainbow sticker peeling off the side. Callie's. I recognized it. She'd drawn on them during art class, said it made them more hers. I backed away, nearly tripping. The recorder was gone now, too. In its place, a small wooden box. I opened it. Inside, teeth. Not one, dozens, tiny, child-sized, each one filed to a point. I dropped the box, and then I heard it. A voice. Not out loud, inside me, or maybe under me, maybe both. She came willingly. You opened the door, now others will too. I don't remember running up the stairs. I just remember falling outside, vomiting in the grass, sobbing. I never told the police. What could I say? That the girl went missing and I found her shoe in a crypt below the fireworks stage? They would have thought I was insane. Hell, I was starting to wonder if they'd be right. But I knew what I saw, and I knew it wasn't done. After that second night, I didn't sleep much. I stayed locked in my room, lights on, door barricaded. Every creak of the house sent adrenaline through my veins. I tried researching. I dug through newspaper archives, old maps, historical documents, anything that might explain the stone room beneath the stage. That's when I found it. A single article, dated July 4th, 1893. Elmridge celebrates independence. First parade at Newtown Square. Celebration halted after tragic disappearance of mayor's son, age 9, during the fireworks finale. Witnesses claim he was seen last near the wooden stage before vanishing without a trace. Stage built on old settler foundation remains locked indefinitely. There was no follow-up, no resolution. The boy was never found. But something in that article hit me. The stage wasn't just built on a stone foundation, it was built to cover it. I wasn't the first person to find that room, and I definitely wouldn't be the last. 3 nights later, I woke up to banging on my bedroom window. I froze. Then slowly I approached the curtain. It was Callie. At least, it looked like her. She was standing outside, barefoot, eyes wide and empty. Her skin was pale, almost gray under the porch light. She didn't blink, didn't wave. She just said in a voice that wasn't hers, "You left me there?" Then she smiled. A slow, unnatural smile that didn't reach her eyes. I stepped back, blinked, and she was gone. Just gone. I checked outside. No footprints, no signs of anyone. But from that moment on, I knew the thing I'd awakened. It wasn't finished with me. I tried telling my parents. They said I needed help, therapy, sleep. They didn't understand. Nobody did, except the librarian. I went back to her, begged her to tell me what she knew. She closed the library early, led me into the archives, past shelves of dust-covered town records. She pulled out a box labeled only with a date, April 7th, 1974. Inside were photos, drawings, notes. All of them showed the same thing, the room beneath the stage, the carvings, and always, always, the phrase, "It needs a witness." The librarian sat across from me, eyes glassy. Every generation, someone opens the room. It's always someone young, someone the town won't believe. I asked her what it was. She said, "No one knows. But we feed it, every decade or so. Quietly, someone disappears. Sometimes they leave a shoe behind." She pulled one out of the box. It matched Callie's. That's when it hit me. The stage, the festival, the celebration. It was a cover. The town knew. They all did. The whole tradition was built to distract us. The lights, the music, the fireworks, to hide the sound of the screaming. The librarian gave me a choice. Close it, seal it shut, forget her, or go back. I went back, not because I was brave, because I had to know. I returned at midnight. No flashlight this time, just the memory of every step. The air was heavier now. The room had changed again. This time, it had furniture, chairs, a table, plates with rotting food, like someone had been having dinner with the dead. Callie was there. She stood in the center, dress torn, barefoot, eyes empty. But she moved. She looked at me, and she whispered, "Don't open the next one." That's when I saw them. The doors, dozens of them, lining the stone wall. I hadn't noticed them before, each with a name etched into it. Some had dates, most didn't. But one was freshly carved. Mine. Elijah reads, "Sowiel Isabsail today's date." I turned to run, but the room, it didn't let me. The walls bent, shifted, became narrower like the space was breathing me in. Callie was gone. The lights flickered once, then went out. I woke up in my bed. The sun was shining. My phone had battery again. Time had moved forward like nothing happened. Except, on my desk sat a wooden box. I didn't open it. I already knew what was inside. I left Elmridge a week later. Never said goodbye, never packed half my stuff. The librarian passed away 3 months after that. Stroke, they said. But I know better. I know what's under that stage. And every 4th of July, when I hear fireworks, I feel the ground shake beneath me. I wonder who's next. I wonder who will open the door this time. But most of all, I wonder how long the box will stay closed.